All right, everybody, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be going over something while I'm building a kitchen. In the last video, I showed you guys how I used the sliding table saw to break all the plywood parts down and stacked everything to the side, got everything labeled. And now what I'm doing is taking some blue painter's tape because the edge banding on this, they want the white dove, which is a tint in it. It makes it look like really antique looking. And basically, I didn't have time to try and find a matching edge banding because you would have to order that special. Whenever you do a color matched edge banding, a lot of times it takes weeks to get it. And basically, I don't have time to do that, sit around and wait weeks to get it. Now, this video is not about how to spray the edge banding, but rather show you why I'm going back to airless spraying and my new, also for the finish, air-assisted airless or AAA paint sprayer. I'll explain all of that in a minute. Let's get over to the other side of the shop so I could show you the setup, and then I'll go into the priming with the airless and then the finish with the AAA air-assisted airless. Okay, so stacking up these parts here and getting them all evened out. Okay, so I've had this Graco GX19. Now, this is not a sponsored video. I'm just going to show you what I'm using here. I'm not going to go over all the specs and things like that. I'm just going to a quick overview of the airless sprayer versus the air-assisted airless and why I'm going back to these instead of using the big compressor in the back with the cup gun. So what I like about this for priming, I love to use this for priming, and you can see by all the paint splatter on it, everything. I've been using this for a number of years. I used to use this for all my finishes. It's a really great machine. And what I like about it mostly is that it has a hopper and you can fit a gallon of paint in that hopper. So this way you don't have to really worry about keep filling up a cup gun and stuff like that. And the other thing I really like about it is the fact that once you get your finish in there or your primer, this snaps in place and it has a seal on it, and you can leave this in there once you depressurize it and put the system into lock mode and you turn your tip to the side there. It's a sealed system. Depressurize it and you can leave your finish in there overnight, and you can come back the next day and finish spraying whatever you need to spray, priming, finishing, whatever. So this runs off of regular 110. It's electric. And then what happens with these is that the pressure of the gun with the pump system in there is a piston, and that pumps pressure and forces the paint into the tube here and then goes right into the gun, which you're going to see the difference of maneuverability of not having that big giant cup full of finish on there. The weight and the comfort and the fatigue is completely diminished. You don't have any of that problem here when you're spraying. You can spray upside down, you can really get into the corners of bookcases and cabinets and carcasses, things that you need to, otherwise you would have a problem with the cup hitting, like say the back of like a bookcase. And speed, this is for production, high production. You will prime and paint 10 times faster than you would with the cup system and the compressor that I've been using. All right, let's get this thing filled up with primer. We'll spray the first coat of the primer on this, and you can see behind me I have the sides of the double oven cabinet. You're gonna see how much faster and how much more material I can get on there in one pass. So now I'm just going to take a quick look over here at my new spray unit. This is going to be for specifically the finishes that I do. And the reason is it not only gives you a high quality finish at a production speed, but it has an onboard compressor also. That's what makes this an air-assisted airless gun, is that you can use it as a regular airless And if you need the fine finish, which I do, then you turn on the compressor. You can run the unit at a much lower pressure, and then you can raise up the air assist on the compressor itself here, which atomizes and sprays the finish much finer, and you'll get less pressure, meaning you're using less material, with the benefits of like a factory finish that you would get from an HVLP. A filter in the gun, you have a filter in the system here, and then you have your HVLP driven turbine style compressor here. So that it doesn't build moisture, and it doesn't build any oil or anything like that. So that's just some things that you would have to look at when getting a unit like this. It comes with a whip hose, so this has a much more flexible hose. The gun is much more ergonomical, much more comfortable in the hand than the Graco unit. It's lighter, and it just feels more maneuverable. And so I really like the feel of this, and we're gonna give this a go right now and spray it. I've sprayed so far just a few test runs with it, so you can see it's pretty much brand new. It's not a sponsored video. I paid for this with my own money from the jobs that I do, so that's why I'm not going into too much detail on how to use this and everything. I'm just showing you the unit, how it sprays, the difference between airless and an air-assisted airless. Okay, so let's get this sprayed right now. Okay, so just, quick little video on how I'm switching back to the airless. So for priming, I'm gonna stick with the regular airless, and for the finishing, it's always gonna be the air-assisted airless. Now, I hope you were able to see and distinguish on camera the difference in speed from what I'm used to spraying with the HVLP system with the compressor behind me. One of the things that I can't stand is how I have to keep continuously changing the water and oil separator filters. There's little carbon filters in there, and I have to change them all the time. When I don't change them and I forget, sometimes I get a little bit of oil or something coming out in the finish when I'm spraying like a lot of kitchen cabinets and doors and drawer fronts, and I will get fisheyes in the finish. If you're not familiar with what a fisheye is are little tiny bubbles that sit on the surface of the finish when you're spraying that don't adhere to the actual substrate that you're spraying. Could be oil in the finish. If you're not spraying water, then the water can do that, but I'm spraying water-based finishes, so it's not the water. So if oil gets in that system, compressors have oil in them, in the motor, to keep them lubricated. And what happens is that oil can get into the line and into the air hose, and you can get these tiny little bubbles that are not sticking, it's actually separating from the actual primer. And then what happens is they burst, those little bubbles, and you get these little dents, and they look like little fisheyes, and that's why we call them fisheyes. Then you got to sand them out, respray, just a nightmare. Also, the speed. I hope that you were able to see how fast this lays down a finish. Now, the airless I use for the primer because what it does, regular airless, it wastes a lot of material. And when you're laying down that primer, you want a lot of material on the workpiece you're actually spraying. You want to lay down a nice heavy primer, but not so thick where it sags or runs, or you have buildup in certain areas. You want a nice even finish. So you can spray fast and you still get a lot of material down without building up if you keep a constant flow moving back and forth. So that's why I use that for the primer. Primer's a little thicker, and so this gets it out really good. Now this you can use, if you just were gonna choose one unit, then I would actually choose this. I had this unit already, I just got this one. I would choose this one over this because of the fact that you can do both with this. If you wanna use it in just an airless mode, then you can just run it as an airless with a higher PSI, a higher pressure on there, and you can spray your primer after you clean that up, and then you have to switch it to Airless for your thinner material so that you get a better fine finish on this. This can give you a good fine finish, and this gives you a better one because of the onboard compressor. And you don't have to worry about oil in the finish or anything messing you up and giving you really fish eyes unless you have some wax or grease on your workpiece. Benefits of this unit right here, these are relatively cheap. The regular Airless sprayers are now running from anywhere, a good one, decent ones are running anywhere from like $800–900 up to around $2,000. This unit right here is just under $4,000. The gun in general, like this just gives you a basic gun on the regular Airless. This unit right here, the gun alone, if you were to purchase this gun separately, is about $700. So that adds to the unit, and this unit right here by itself without the onboard compressor is around $1,800 or $1,600. So then you're getting the compressor. So altogether, you're looking at around retail about $3,800. Why is it a better unit? You saw when I laid down that finish. This finish right here is glass smooth. I do not even have to sand it. Not only did it dry in like record time because I was using it with the compressor, like as an HVLP, but I don't have to worry about doing a finish sand on it. It's glass smooth. There's absolutely nothing on there. There's no nibs, nothing. It's perfect. So, and it dried quick, less than an hour. And obviously you have to use the right wood coatings when you're doing this. You don't want to be using something like regular paint from any of these big box store paints. You need wood coatings when you're doing cabinetry and built-ins and things like that. And those wood coatings, basically, I use General Finishes all the time, and I use their white undercoat primer, and then I use, if I'm doing any kind of a light color, the white undercoat. If I'm doing a dark color, then it's a deep base and they tint it to the color that I'm doing. But the poly, the white poly, or the black polyurethane are the absolute best. They can be tinted. The white one is tinted. This is White Dove, Benjamin Moore's White Dove. That's where I get my my Enduro from. And so they tinted any color that I needed, whatever color the client chooses, that's what they tint it for me. And I spray it and it comes out perfect and flawless. So letting you guys know why I won't be spraying anymore with the compressor. There is no comparison going back to Airless. Now, yes, the cleanup, it's a little intense. You can see there's a brand new unit. I already got like paint dots all over it and everything. This, it's a little bit of a pain to clean, but the amount of time that I'm saving with spraying sometimes 40 doors or 30 doors for cabinets, doors and drawer fronts, it takes me hours on end to spray those with the HVLP because it's just so slow. But with these, I can fly right through it. And not only am I getting the right amount of material, I'm laying down a perfectly leveled finish. And then when it dries quicker because I'm not overdoing it and I'm not getting any areas where I have too much buildup because I slowed down too much. I'm just a flow back and forth right across the piece, and I lay down enough material that it's going to level out and be perfect. And you saw the close-up what I did of these, and it just works out great. So no comparison. Going back to these, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Do your research when you're buying things like this. Like I said, it's not a sponsored video, not trying to sell you either one of these, just trying to give you an insight on what I'm doing here, what works for me in a production shop. I am a professional. This is what I do. This is my business. It's a cabinet making, finished carpentry business, and I've been doing it for years. So I'm not going to give you any false information. It's only the stuff that I know works for me and what I've done over the years that I had to change. So hopefully that helps you guys out in the long run, and you watch the rest of the videos on my channel so you can see a lot of the stuff and learn some stuff as you go as well. All right, guys, thank you for joining me in the shop. Hit that subscribe button if you like the video. Give it a thumbs up also. And then there's a little picture of a notification bell. Make sure you hit that little notification bell. It's going to notify you every time I upload a new video. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. Thanks for joining me in the shop.